आपका स्वागत है।
Our next stop on Up South to track Tamil Nadu during elections 2014 was Coimbatore. A city that has become notorious in the last few years as a black hole. Power cuts have crippled the industry here. Unfortunate for a city that always boasted about its entrepreneurial spirit. Till last year, Coimbatore went without power for 12 to 14 hours a day. This summer has been relatively better, with units going without power for 4 to 6 hours every day. We met D. Balasundaram, who heads the Tamil Nadu Electricity Consumers Association. And what happened during the interview was a bird's eye view of a day in the life of a citizen in Coimbatore.
And it has been more, like say, in the last 1 or 2 months, the power load sheddings have been more regular, in the sense there is no unannounced shutdowns for long periods. Even today, there are shutdowns. But
this is a shutdown.
This is a shutdown.
For many, like Nagaraj, power cuts blinked out the light in their life. The 36-year-old who manufactured components for motor pump units was forced onto the road, quite literally, as a pushcart idli dosa seller. After his workshop was unable to finish orders on time. Nagaraj couldn't afford expensive backup power like a generator. So work was hit and he was left staring at mounting debts.
The lathe machine work நிறுத்தண்டி வந்தது அது பற்றி ஃபுல்லாக
பவர் கட்டு கொஞ்ச நாள் இருந்துங்க. அதுக்கப்புறம் ஜாப் கொடுக்கவங்க வந்து ஒரு டிமாண்ட் பண்ணனால இப்போ என்னை விட்டு வேறு ஆறு கை மாறி போச்சுங்க. கை மாறி போனால் நம்ம கிட்ட 1.5 வருஷமாக பார்த்தீங்கன்னா சிரமத்திலேருந்து முடியாத பட்சத்தில் சாப்பாட்டுக்கே வழி இல்லாமல் இருந்து போச்சுங்க. அந்த நிலைமை உட்காந்துட்டு அப்போ இந்த தொழில் நான் சூஸ் பண்ணி எடுத்த அப்புறம் சரின்னு சொல்லிட்டு ப்ரைவேட்டில் ஃபைனான்ஸ்.
Nagaraj's is not a one-off story. At least 1/3 of Coimbatore's 4,000 unit strong cottage industry is said to have disappeared in the last 1 year.
இந்த பிஸ்னஸ் விட்டே நிறையா பேர் வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு 30% வெளியே போயிட்டாங்க. மைக்ரோ யூனிட்டுங்க இவங்களால வந்து இந்த தொழிலில் வந்து இவங்களாம் ஸ்டடி பண்ண முடியலைங்க, வெளியே போயிட்டாங்க. அப்போது பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இன்றைக்கி இந்த இண்டஸ்ட்ரீஸை பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் எனக்கு நிலைமை என்னன்னு கேட்டிங்கன்னா, இங்கே இதில் இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட் பண்ணி பேங்க் லோன் வாங்கி ப்ரைவேட் கன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ஷன் ப்ரைவேட் ஃபைனான்ஸ் இந்த லோன் வாங்கி இந்த 5 இயர்ஸ் ஏற்பட்ட பிரச்சனைனால திருப்பி கட்ட முடியல.
Bigger industries too have been hit by the power crunch. The textile industry based in and around Coimbatore has borne the brunt.
The Coimbatore region accounts for nearly 900 of the 2,000 spinning mills in Tamil Nadu. Power cuts means having to depend on generators, and genset usage means cost of production goes up by 3 times.
This is a temporary phenomena. This is what I am telling repeatedly everybody. It's a temporary phenomena because your daily power requirement, it increased from 150 to 160 million to 190 million. In the last few years, now we are touching 270 million, 280 million. No other state this kind of growth has happened. So when the growth is there, your supply has not matched the growth. If the national grid would have been connected.
We visited Mahindra Pumps, a 54-year-old company manufacturing pump sets in Coimbatore. The owner admits business sentiment has been weak, with many in the industry shutting shop. Since 2008, 17,500 megawatts of merchant power plants were expected to be commissioned. This has not seen the light of day.
Between 2010 and 2013, we have suffered a lot. A lot of business have left Coimbatore, we can say, to northern cities, I don't want to mention. And I think once the power is back, I think they should be coming back.
Coimbatore, which is also home to the wet grinder industry in the land of idli dosa, is critical to the Tamil Nadu government freebie scheme. Since 2011, it has manufactured and sold 95 lakh wet grinders exclusively to the government, which distributes them free of cost to below poverty line beneficiaries. It has been a touch and go affair, with units working full strength whenever power supply is restored.
It's just cost of prices going up, number of working days also going up, number of laborers also going up. This is the main problem. But normally wet grinder needs plastic parts. It is all heavy machines. They cannot run with the assistance of this generator and other things. If you use generator also, the cost of work is higher than the normal work. It is doubling.
The power crisis has already taken the sheen of brand Coimbatore, despite what the Coimbatore Chamber of Commerce and Industry claims.
Coimbatore was once spoken of as the new Bangalore, with an excellent manufacturing base and an educated workforce. But blackouts turned the dream of Tamil Nadu's second largest city to become India's business mecca into a nightmare.
Oh, it has been affected very badly because the Coimbatore has been a producer of auto components, engine components and so many things which is made for all over India. And the power cut has made some of them to take away the orders. Like Mahindra and Mahindra have told us that there will be no further orders to Coimbatore because we are a large supplier to Mahindra. People are careful about giving orders to Coimbatore-based suppliers because of the power situation. But for the small and medium and micro industries, it is really death knell because many of them have really suffered in the sense that they have borrowed money.
That is why the members of the Coimbatore Chamber of Commerce and Industry have told contesting candidates that only if they ensure uninterrupted power will they get their vote to enjoy political power and represent Coimbatore in New Delhi.
See what we want the uninterrupted power supply, quality power supply, proper infrastructure, connectivity. These are the things we require for our development of our city. Other things we will take care. There is no problem.
Much of the ire is directed at Coimbatore MP P.R. Natarajan of the CPM, who is once again a candidate. With Jayalalitha having cut ties with the left, Natarajan finds it politically convenient to put the blame on the Tamil Nadu government.
Multinational corporation, the government is having a MOU, the memorandum of understanding with the company, that 24-hour power supply will be given to them without interruption. Whereas they are not giving any importance to the Coimbatore, which is the tax-paid people, the local people, the tax-paid people, they are not giving any importance. And that is a very long pending issue.
Coimbatore denizens are also angry with what they perceive as stepmotherly treatment.
When Chennai was experiencing only a power cut of 2 hours, at Coimbatore we were experiencing more than 8 to 10 hours. So it's totally unfair, and this unfair distribution of the power supply has caused much concern, and this we feel that this is something which has to be stopped forthwith.
Radhakrishnan, who represented this constituency in the late 90s, has turned people's woes into a ruse. With the slogan, "Power to Modi" will mean power to everyone.
It is very simple. Modi is the only chief minister who runs his whole term as the chief minister without current cut. That means when he is going to becoming the prime minister, absolutely there is no current cut, not only in Coimbatore, in the entire country. You need not bother about it. There is a very simple mechanism. That simple mechanism is strengthening the national power grid all over the country. The excess power generated at one place, any part of India, should be transmitted to the other part of India. Very simple. So
you are saying power to Modi will mean power to Coimbatore?
Power to Modi means not only to Coimbatore, it is power to everywhere, all over the country.
The feeling that a ruling party MP rather than an opposition party MP will be in Coimbatore's interest is gaining ground, at least amongst sections of the aggrieved industry.
Considering an MP is a request and considering the ruling party's MP is different now. Definitely there will be a good treatment and we can able to do something.
But that may be wishful thinking considering the two national parties, BJP and the Congress, do not have the grassroots support that the Dravidian parties enjoy.
Coimbatore has been an AIADMK stronghold. 5 of the 6 MLAs in the Coimbatore Lok Sabha constituency are from the ruling party. And even the 6th one is from Vijayakant's DMTK, who fought the 2011 assembly polls in an alliance with Jayalalitha. Suffice to say that these AIADMK MLAs will be expected to bring in the votes.
When DMK lost power in 2011, it blamed its failure to fix the power crisis as one of the major factors. Jayalalitha had then promised to fix the problem within a year. Her inability to deliver means that the shoe is on the other foot this time.
I am on my way to Dharmapuri in the northwest part of Tamil Nadu, a good 300 km from Chennai, a belt where caste seems to matter more than anything else, and more so during election season. The run-up to the polls on April 24th has seen tension rising in the district, something that is an augur well for Dharmapuri that is almost always on the edge.
It is dusk by the time I reach Netham Colony, a Dalit colony in Dharmapuri. 32-year-old Mathamma recalls the horror of that night in November 2012 when 3 Dalit villages were torched by a mob. "17 months later, the nightmarish memories still haunt him.
கரண்ட்டு கட்டானவே அந்த நினப்பு வந்துடுறது. அப்போ இப்படி தானே இருந்துச்சு, கரண்ட் இல்லாமல் இருட்டா. அங்கங்கே எங்கள் ஆளுங்க ஓடினது, பிள்ளைங்கள காணான்னு ஓடியாந்தது, தேடினது. அங்கங்கே ஐயோ என் பிள்ளை காணும், பிள்ளை காணும், இவங்கள காணும், அவங்கள காணும்னு அந்த நைட்டு 12-1 மணி வெடியே வரலையுமே தூங்கலை நாங்கள் யாருமே.
Mathamma is alluding to events that unfolded after an inter-caste marriage between a college-going Dalit boy, Illavarasan, and an upper-caste Baniyar girl, Divya, in October that year. Nine months later, in July 2013, Illavarasan was found dead on the railway tracks near the Government Arts College in Dharmapuri. His family, backed by Dalit politicians, alleged it was murder. The post-mortem investigation, however, could not establish that. Now, during election time, the tragic episode only serves to widen the rift between the two communities in this area.
People here have not forgotten the first big caste violence that divided the Vanyas and Dalits in the last 2 decades. The issue was only between 2 families, but the entire Dalit community is bearing the brunt of caste brutality.
The fallout? Banyars, who are mostly the land-owning class in the villages, have stopped employing Dalits. This has forced people from the scheduled caste community, who largely work as labour, to migrate to Coimbatore, Bangalore and Salem in search of work.
நாங்களாம் பெங்களூர் கோயம்புத்தூர் தான் போகிறோம். வயசானவங்களாம் செஞ்சுருந்தாங்க, அவங்க கூப்பிடாத போது நாம் போகக்கூடாதுன்றது நம்ம தடை.
In Dharmapuri's electorate of 10 lakh, Vanyars are the largest community at over 30%. Dalits come next at 25%. Because of the sheer numbers, these two communities are the most politically significant. The Dravidian parties are wooing the Vanyar vote bank. AIA-DMK's PS Mohan, DMK's Thamarai Selvan and the BJP-led alliance's Ambumani Ramadas of the PMK are all Vanyars in the fray. The odd man out is Rajnikant, a Dalit who was counsel for Illavarasan in the Madras High Court when he fought to get Divya back with him. He's fighting the election on the BSP ticket. Mayawati's party has no base in Dharmapuri and is using the caste polarization to gain a foothold in the area.
All the parties, DMK, ADMK and PMK, they are playing the caste politics only. They wanted to accumulate the votes from their own caste. Now 1 years are having 5 lakhs and 30,000 votes. They wanted to accumulate from these all the parties fielding their candidates from the Vanyar community.
The PMK was vocal in supporting Divya when after the death of her father, who was opposed to her marriage with Illavarasan, she lived with her mother and did not return to Illavarasan. The party's stand upset Dalits and could cost it precious votes in Dalit-dominated villages. That is why perhaps the former Union Health Minister Ambumani Ramadas of the PMK has moderated the earlier extreme stance as damage control.
The majority of the people are supporting me as a candidate in Dharmapuri, which is one of the most backward districts of Tamil Nadu for development. Why do we need to go into all these caste and all the other issues like? And I don't see a reason why we should go down, stoop to such a low level and do all these things like. So it is not at all necessary. Plus, we won't do all these things like. And when I say that I'm standing on a plank of development and peace.
The VCK, a party that takes up issues of discrimination against Dalits, rubbishes Ramadas's claim of innocence, accusing the PMK of having sown the seeds of enmity between the two communities.
ஒருத்தர் பாதிப்பட்டா கூட ஒரு ஆக்சிடென்ட் ஆகிட்டு வந்தது இல்லை திடீர்னு கீழே வந்துட்டா கூட அவங்க தலித் மக்கள்னாவே அவங்க அது ஒரு ஃபர்ஸ்ட் எய்ட்னு சொல்லக்கூடிய உதவி கூட செய்ய மாட்டேங்கிறாங்க அவங்க அந்த அளவுக்கு படு மோசமாக இருக்குது அது முழுக்க என்னன்னாக்கா பிஎம்ஏ கட்சிக்காரங்க அது மக்கள் மத்தியில் கொஞ்சம் ஒரு விசத்தனமான கருத்துல மக்கள் மத்தியில் பரப்பி அது மாதிரி செய்கிறாங்க.
Illavarasan's mother, Krishnaveni, has kept away from both the Vanyar community and politics after her son's death. The family's vote is likely to go to a party that offers support and protection to them.
எந்த கட்சியுமே கிடையாது. எங்களுக்கு யார் ஆதரவு செய்கிறாங்களோ நாங்கள் யாரும் ஒரு ஜெயலலிதா கட்சியா இல்லை கலைஞர் கட்சியா யார் எங்களுக்கு சப்போர்ட் செய்கிறாங்களோ அவங்க பக்கம் நாங்கள் சப்போர்ட்டாக இருப்போம். நாங்கள் அவங்க இவங்கன்றதெல்லாம் கிடையாது. யார் எங்களுக்கு வர அதில் சொல்கிறாங்களோ அவங்களுக்கு நாங்கள் சப்போர்ட் இருக்கிறோம்.
It isn't easy to write off the Dravidian parties who have won twice in the past from Dharmapuri. This time too, they're mounting a challenge to the PMK. Though the PMK has chalked out an electoral strategy to woo Vanyars, a win for the party remains a challenge.
That is because caste, though the major factor when it comes to determining a vote, has competition from other votes. Lack of water for irrigation means farmers in Palakkad, Dharmapuri and Pennagaram are forced to buy water from private parties. Labour is scarce as most Dalits who would traditionally work on the fields have moved out of Dharmapuri.
I can't say which party will come as majority at this juncture because for the past 2 to 3 years no substantial schemes have been implemented in Dharmapuri district, either for irrigation or for electricity or for drinking water.
Playing on the advantage of being the ruling party, the AIA-DMK candidate P.S. Mohan is promising the benevolence of Jayalalitha if Dharmapuri is electorally kind to him.
Amma has done so many schemes. Everything, all the schemes reach the people. Yes, that's why. That's the reason we are expecting at least minimum 2 lakhs difference of votes. We will win.
The BJP-led front is banking on a Modi wave in Dharmapuri. But in the political summer of 2014, a heat wave is all this constituency is concerned about.
அம்மா மட்டும் தான் தெரியும், வேற யாரும் தெரியாது.
நரேந்திர மோடி தெரியுமா?
தெரியாது.
அப்படிங்களா? அப்படி நாங்கள் பண்ணிட்டு தான் நாங்களும் இந்த கூட நாங்கள் பழமொழி மாதம் பார்த்தா ரெட்டலை தான் நான் கறிங்க.
நரேந்திர மோடினா யாரும் தெரியுமா?
நரேந்திர மோடி
யாரும் தெரியுமா?
சரியாது.
Spending time in cast-in-the-box Dharmapuri can leave you numb in a sense of days and make you wonder how this exercise in democracy is exposing the faultiness in our deeply divided society. That's it on this episode of Up South. See you from another part of Tamil Nadu tomorrow. Thanks for watching.